They have real value, and there are incentives to at least try them. If I haven't made a compelling reason by now, David Davis over there, raise your hand, David. David works for the VA. He and I became close friends after I started the company because you transition and you learn about the VA and all the benefits as a transitioning veteran, but nobody ever told me about the how to hire veterans when I became an employer. So I went through and reread all the literature, and I was like, I still can't figure this out. And I love the VA. The VA is the second largest arm in the federal government. Anybody want to guess how many employees are in the VA? How many?
200,000.
And you know what it is now, David? I think it's upwards of 250,000. And it makes sense because DoD is the largest bureaucracy, right? And the VA is in charge of taking all the former DoD members. So, okay, there's some challenges with that. And I told David, I want to learn this program called the Special Employer Incentive Program because I've dealt with government contracting in my days as an Army Corps of Engineers officer, and there's nothing easy about that. Anybody do federal government contracts? There's nothing easy about them, right? It's bureaucratic, right? So I had to register with SAM, the System of Award Management, to become a teammate with David, hire veterans. But if you're willing to do that, the Special Employer Incentive Program will pay half of a veteran's salary for 6 months. You willing to take that chance now? Right? And all you have to do is say, here's the training program that I'm going to use to incorporate them into my organization. Now, the first time I did it, it took about 90 days, and that wasn't really responsive. And every day, I was calling my young man who I wanted to hire and said, listen, I want to hire you now, but I really want to make this program work so I can come talk to audiences like you and tell them how it works. The second time I did it, it took about 30 days. So not bad, and you can interview them. You see Dave, say, hey, I'm interested. Here's the position we're looking to fill. Pretty decent incentive, right? The Career Source, which are the local workforce boards, Career Source Tampa Bay, Career Source Broward County, we use all of them. They have similar programs at the state level, usually lower, not as great value as the VA, maybe I think 9 weeks or something like that. I have not personally used any of those programs, but I've personally used those entities to hire veterans because they all have separate veterans initiatives. By the way, anybody want to take a guess what my healthcare bill is for VetCorps? We have 25 employees. I know I don't have to pay it because I'm under 50 or whatever, but I would. Anybody want to take a guess what my healthcare bill is?
Very low.
Anybody want for my senior management, my COO, and his family? You know what I pay?
Zero.
You know what I pay for me?
Zero.
Actually, that's not true. I pay, I think it's $553 a year. Sorry, for TRICARE, because I'm retired. And all of my senior management, who I would have hired anyway, because they're all complete studs and they all served for me in combat before. And all I just have to say is task and purpose, here's what we're doing, action left, and they go, Roger. You want to talk about an agile organization, right? And they know how I work. I say, hey, look, you're going to see opportunities before I ever will. As long as you're operating within the vision and intent, you execute. And they get it. You know, people think that we're not an agile organization. It's very structured and organized. This is not true. Tried 600 groups, they would call them LGOPs, little groups of paratroopers. 600 paratroopers all over a drop zone in the middle of the night running around trying to find stuff, right? So anyway, back to my point though, of all these managers, I would hire them anyway, but they're all retired military. They're all get TRICARE. What does that save you a year per person? Now are you willing to try them? Now, you're speaking my language as a businessman. All right. The other thing is, if you find it, by the way, MacDill Air Force Base is the only base in the world that has 2 combatant commands, 4-star level commands. The whole world geographically is divided up into combatant commands, and so CENTCOM, central area in the world, Middle East, Central Command is here. Then they also have functional commands, Transportation Command, how to get troops and equipment all over the world. Special Forces Command is a functional command, 4-star level. 2 4-star level commands at MacDill. With 4 stars comes what? 3 stars and 2 stars and 1 star and colonels and lieutenant colonels. Guys like me are a dime a dozen there. And they like Tampa. I love Tampa. That's why I'm here. They want to stay in Tampa. What do you think you can get them for? All I have to do is wake up. All I have to do is wake up, and I make more than the Federal Labor Standards Act says as a salaried employee. Because I'm retired. I love it. I'm 48 years old, I get to say I'm retired. All I have to do is wake up, and I make a very nice pension. Guaranteed, it's annuity. It's a great benefit. And then, because I have a bulging disc in my back, the VA tends to compensate me a little bit more for that. I'd like to tell my wife that I don't have disability only some days when they screw up my back, and then I'm 100% disabled because I can't get up off the floor. But the point is, if that person wants to maintain their quality of life and they retire, right, and they get, in my case, 57.5% of what I was making at 23 years, something like that, what do I have to make to maintain that same standard of living? I'm going to do math in public. 47% of my salary. Right? That's just to maintain my quality of life. Now, here's what I'm telling you. Please understand this. What they did, they earned their retirement. Okay? So I hope you pay them a little bit more than 47%. But the point is, you don't have to pay them exorbitant salaries to get them on your team for them to even better their quality of life. Now, I encourage you to pay them what they're worth, but I think, and what I try and tell my peers out there is, you probably aren't going to get a salary commensurate to what you were getting in the military. As a lieutenant colonel, I had a very nice compensation, and probably overpaid, to be honest. To be honest, I think senior ranks are overpaid. I think the junior ranks are underpaid. And now, as I'm out in the civilian world, I very highly believe that. So you may see, particularly if you're getting senior people, you may see their salary demands a little bit higher than you would like to see. Okay? So just know that and bring them back down to earth, and I'll help you with that. Because it was a slap in the face for me. But the point is, you can get them at a great value if you're looking for retired folks. Time to stop talking. And just about right on time. So tremendous value in retirees who are transitioning. And they have a ton of experience. They have 20 years, at least, of those cultures, norms, and values, lifelong learners, etc. Okay?